Today we're going to go over the basic functions for the eCollar Technologies 902 model. Now, if you are a client of mine and you have more than one dog in the home, I'm going to most likely send you home with this. Our other model is great for one dog homes, but I've actually found that I really like this for multiple dogs because it just gives you more flexibility, more buttons that you can use and program to fit your needs. So we're going to go over the basics of it. The collar itself is going to work the same way that it does with our other system. You have a red dot here, bring it up close here, that you're going to use to turn it on and off. There's a matching red dot on the back of the remote here. So you're going to just touch those two together and you'll see this green light comes on. That means that your collar is now on, and it's going to flash the entire time that your collar is on. As long as that light is green, you know that it is fully charged. It'll turn orange when you've got a couple hours left, and red means you need to get it plugged in right away. So just keep an eye on this. It'll let you know when you need to charge it. So we're going to have two collars matched to this remote. One is going to have a black collar like this, and the black collar is going to correlate with the black buttons. We also have a red collar, which is going to correlate with the red buttons. The black buttons is dog 1 in this system. There's a flashing 1D at the top of the display. And the red button is for dog 2. There'll be a 2D at the bottom. So in looking at the remote here, the basic functions here, we have our on-off button, we have our program button, we have tone recall for the black collar, tone recall for the red collar, we've got correction for the black collar, and correction for the red collar. Okay. We also have the dial right here. This will change the level of stimulus. And of course you can't see it when the light comes on, but it's at a 13 right now. There we go. You can kind of see. This changes the levels here. All right. You'll also notice that there are a couple of letters on the screen. Okay, with the display off, I can show you what this looks like here. So the number in the middle is the level of stimulus that your dog is going to be feeling. Right now it's at a level 13 for both dogs. Okay, we haven't changed anything there. M here means momentary. If you have your collar set to momentary, regardless of how long your finger is on this button, your dog will only feel it for just a quick tap. C is what we have it set to, which is continuous. As long as your finger is on that button, your dog will feel it. There's a safety feature that turns it off at 10 seconds, but it's a continuous feature, so it just gives you flexibility. You can tap once or you can hold it down. As long as your finger is on it, your dog will feel it. Down here, we have a T, which means tone, and that's what these front ones are here. We've programmed those so that those are your tone feature, so that when your dog hears it, they'll know to come running. And lastly, there is a V up in this corner here. V means vibrate, and that works great for some dogs, but we don't use it. We'd rather use that tone feature so that we can use it for recall. You'll also notice that there is a battery display at the bottom, lets you know when you need to charge this guy. And you'll also see that at the top and the bottom we have a flashing 1D and 2D. That just means which dog we're talking about. 1D is one dog, correlates with the black buttons, and 2D is two dog for the red buttons. All right, that's the basics of what you need to know about the buttons as far as using them as part of our training. Side button is for correction, front is for recall. When I hold them, I am holding them like this so that I can easily tell each dog what they need to do. I can easily turn this dial to change the value for the dog. And then if I need to, I can have my thumb right here and I can recall the dog. So let's talk about some of the other features you need to know about this remote. On-off for this remote is on the side. So if we're holding it in our right hand, it's right where my thumb is right here. And I'm just going to hold that button down until the display turns off so that I know that it's off. To turn it on, I hold that button down until the display comes on, letting me know that it's on. Another really cool feature that this has is these collars are set with a light. So if you walk your dog at night, if you have a dark dog, you want people to be able to see it, we can turn on a light. And the way that we do that is we hold the power button and then we tap whichever dog we want to change on the right here. So if I want to turn the black collar on, I'm going to hold the power button and then I'm going to tap the side button here. And you'll see that it turns to a flashing light. If I want to change it to a solid, I'm going to tap the power and then the black button. It'll turn to a solid light. And if I want to turn it off, I'm going to hit it again. So power, side button, turns it off. Same thing for the red collar. If I wanted to turn that red collar on and off, it'd be power, red, power, red, power, red, to go through those cycles to get it on different levels of that light or to turn it off. Now, when we're working with two dogs, a lot of times our dogs are going to be at different working levels on this, which just means the level that your dog is currently responding to in any given environment. That level is going to change from day to day. It's going to change based on how many distractions are in your environment. Every dog is different. So instead of constantly turning this dial, so let's say one dog works at a 10, I would tap it at a 10, and then I need to correct that other dog. But before I correct it, I got to turn it up to its 19 because it's at a 19, and then I got to turn it back down. That's a pain in the butt, and that's way too much work. So you can actually lock in the numbers for each individual dog, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. So let's talk about how to change numbers, because dogs are going to have different levels. What we want to do is we want to come over here to our program button, and then we're going to also use this front tone button, and we're going to use those two to set specific numbers for certain dogs. So let's say we're on a level 13 right now. Let's say that dog 1 is responding to a level 13. So I'm going to hold down the P for program, and I'm going to hold down the black S in front that we use for our tone, and that's going to lock in a level 13 for this first dog. It'll flash and then go solid, letting me know that it's been locked. Now if I turn this dial, the number will still change, okay? But when I hit this black S on the side, it's going to show me a level 13, and this is so hard to see. But I've locked it in. So now what I can do is I have dog 1 locked in at 13. I can now change this dial, and that's going to correlate with dog 2. So right now, if I were at it says 38. If I tap this black S, it jumps back to 13. Release, we're at 38. So now I can tap that dog 2 at a 38. All right, I hope that makes sense. To unlock it, I'm going to do the same thing. So P for program, black S, hold those together until it flashes. Once it goes solid, I now know that it is no longer locked. To test that, and turn it down again. Let's go down, we're at a 9. So if I tap that black S, it should show me a 9, and it is, which means that it is no longer locked. We can go back to just using whatever number we want for both dogs. The system is a little bit confusing, so if I'm sending this system home with you, I want to make sure you're really comfortable with it. So review this, ask me as many questions as you need to, get really comfortable with it. It sounds weird when we are first working with it and you don't have it in your hand, but once you get here and we do your lesson and I get you hands-on working with it, it's going to make so much more sense. So right now, just understand what the buttons are, understand how they work, and it'll all kind of come together when you actually get hands-on working with it. So let's talk about charging. When they send it to you, it comes disassembled with a charging system. So you've got this box here that just goes to a single cord here. You also have a splitter that comes with it, and we're going to connect that splitter to this cord, and now you can charge both collars at the same time. There is a dust cover on the back of the collar here that you're just going to flip open, and it plugs right in here. If you're coordinated, plugs in here. You are also going to get a USB cord with a micro USB at the other end. That is going to go into the second part of your charger here. And this is used for charging your remote. Remember, the battery is listed down here to let you know when you need to charge it. There's a dust cover on the back of this. So you're going to just flip this open and you can plug this in right here. Okay. So you can charge your remote and both collars all at the same time. Typically, I'll just throw it on the charger overnight. You want to watch the light on the collars to let you know when it's time to charge them. This will let you know. Typically, depending on how long these are on your dogs, you know, if you're home all day with your dogs and these are on them all day, you're going to have to charge your collar a lot more frequently. If you are working out of the home and your dog is kenneled all day, obviously we're not going to have the collars on them for that period. So you're not going to have to charge it as frequently. It really just depends. But if I know that I'm going to have a really busy day or weekend and we have a lot going on where we're going to be out, I just throw it on the charger the night before just to make sure that I have a full charge and it can get us through that day or that weekend, whatever we're doing. That's it. I love this system for 2 dogs because it really gives you the flexibility. You don't have to worry about reprogramming a whole lot of buttons. We've done all that for you. So when you get it, dog 1, dog 1, dog 2, dog 2. That's all you need to know. If you have any questions, please let us know. I want to make sure that this tool is functional and useful for you and that it makes sense. I try to make this as easy as possible. I think the hardest part of this system is figuring out how to lock the numbers in for your dogs. So we'll practice that and make sure that we get really comfortable with that. But any tool that we use, I want to make sure you guys feel really comfortable with it before we get started.